Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Deacon, and welcome to my incredible podcast. Now, before we commence this episode, do not forget to Hulk smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, share this with your boys and your fat ass families, follow me on Instagram, smash that bell notification button, and of course, as always, enjoy. Let's get started. Our top story for today shall be Anna Bay, 10 cliches cheap men love saying. Now, this video was made by a woman named Anna Bay, an online influencer who also goes by the name School of Affluence, the same name she uses for her social media accounts. Now, in this video, she goes into detail as to what kind of things she claims that cheap men love saying, and I'm putting cheap men in quotes. The first time I saw this video was months ago, and it was posted by YouTuber Easy Swish Sniper. Now, when he reviewed this video, it made me fall off of my seat laughing when he critiqued her video, because not only was her video so mind-blowing, not only was his roasting hilarious, but his interpretation of her video was true. So, here we are, ready to critique this video here and now. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's hit it.
Ladies, today I really need to warn you for these top 10 cliches that I know many cheap men out there tend to use to manipulate women.
Now, I know that it's only been a few seconds and we just started the clip. However, I do need to get something off of my chest. I don't know about any of you folks, but I get the vibe that she might be overgeneralizing, because to say something like this makes me believe that she thinks that most, if not all, men are like this. That's the vibe that I'm getting. But then again, it's only a hunch. I understand that it's not enough to prove that she's in the wrong. Anyway, let's proceed.
I love independent women.
Oh, you know what I love? I love strong, masculine men. I love men who look after their women and treat their woman like a goddess. That's what I love.
Okay, so to you, Anna, I say this, and I'll be fair. I think it's fascinating that you are into strong and masculine men. Now, you say this on your video, so I hope that you truly mean that. However, I'm getting somewhat suspicious, because females in general, they say they want one thing, but they emotionally and physically respond to something completely different. Now, I know I said this several times in some of my previous videos, and I will continue to say this, because there's a part of me that does not believe that this female truly wants a strong and masculine man. If this is what she claims she wants, she has to stick to those words. Females love saying one thing in one moment, and then they say something different in the next moment. That completely contradicts what she previously said. Anyway, let's proceed.
My ex-girlfriend only used me for my money.
Well, then you know how it feels for us women when men only use us for sex without committing to us.
Okay, for real. Let's take this back to the basics. It's called having fun. It's called casual dating, meaning no strings attached and no boundaries violated. As men, we are not required by law to commit to any of y'all females. What part of that specific sentence do you not understand? Or better yet, is there something about that sentence that you do not like? Because if you have a problem with that, you can start as many rants as you want, but in the end, it's going to be an epic fail. So females, ask yourselves this one question, and be as honest as you can. Okay, straight to the point, no agenda, no lies. Really, who is really forcing the other gender to conform to commitment? Us men or you females? Just keep that question in mind, and you can answer that question at any time you want. All I ask is you keep that question in the front of your mind as we continue. Let's proceed.
If I pay for today's date, will you pay the next?
Oh, if I have to pay for a date, there won't be a next.
Okay, so here's my take on that statement. Folks, and I mean every single one of you ladies and gents out there, if you want to agree or disagree with anything that I say, that's entirely up to you. The reason I'm saying this is because I'm going to say several things that some of you may not agree with, and that's okay. Gentlemen, I believe that a man who is a combination of self-reliant, strong, smart, and truly independent should be able to handle any kind of bill that gets thrown at him. Because, and let me create a hypothetical situation. Let's say that you, as a man, have a family. That means a wife and kids to feed. What happens when a bill comes through your mailbox? You go in there, you open it up, and your rent comes out as $1,400. But you have, say, $700 in your account. Now keep in mind, you have a whole family to feed. That means you have to buy groceries, clothes, and all kinds of things. How will you be able to tackle that kind of challenge while keeping your family safe? Now, that's something you guys have to keep in mind. Now, furthermore, as a man, I do not have a problem paying for the entire bill. However, females, do not believe for 1 second that you think you're entitled to some sort of special treatment just because you think you're a 10 and you think every man will melt and succumb to your presence. I've been in that situation countless times during college, and 10 times out of 10, the female ends up putting nothing to the table. Every single one of those females that I interacted with never brought anything to the table. The key word is entitlement. That's how these gold-digging females operate. Just because they think they're a 10 most certainly does not mean that they deserve a reward. What about us men? What about us? We also want rewards, and you don't want to put shit to the table. Listen. Automatic disqualification. I will not take your calls. I will not respond to your text messages. Just get the fuck out. So I shall phrase it this way. If I pay for a date, but you don't give me anything in return, especially your peace leave, there will not be a next. Let's proceed.
I don't like materialistic women.
Well, I don't like cheap men.
Okay, let's pause and think about this for a brief moment. Again, she's throwing that label out there as if to say that all men are cheap. That's the vibe that I'm getting from this female. I believe that she is applying this label to all men, which, if that's the case with this female, it's not only the absolute wrong way to go, that's one of the unhealthiest things that you can possibly do. Females, if you want to go through life spreading hate towards men and throwing all sorts of hate labels at men, this is where you're going to be somewhere down the road. This is going to be you sometime down the road, where you shout this out to the universe.
What happened? Where did all the men go?
That is going to be you when you have reached your expiration date. You shall be classified as a misandrist. And remember, a misandrist is a female who has a prejudice and or hate towards men. The root word for that would be misandry. I'll show you the Google definition right here. That's the category that y'all man-hating females will go, and the more you continue spreading hate towards men, you will become that miserable ass fucking cat lady who will shout this out sometime down the road.
What happened? Where did all the men go?
So females, just keep that in mind as we continue in this video. Let's proceed.
If you want equality, why should men be paying 100% of the time?
We want equal rights, but that doesn't mean that we are equals.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am currently experiencing a splitting headache right now because of how retarded her statement was. So with that said, I'm going to transition the show into intermission, okay? We'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
We are not biologically equal. Men and women are built differently. So let's not pretend that we are equals, because that's just a manipulation.
Okay, I am back and I'm ready to respond to this statement full force, and I will specify my side of the argument very carefully. So I am willing to 100% agree with a specific portion of her statements, and that is men and females are most certainly not equal all across the board. However, this is where she somewhat contradicts herself. She said, and I quote, "We want equal rights, but that doesn't mean that we are equals." Remember, folks, modern feminism is not about equality. They are all about tearing down the patriarchy and gaining more power over men. So when Anna said we want equal rights, what she really means is we want equal rights only when it benefits females so that it can boost up their fucking egos. Listen, these broads had the audacity to come on board and demand equal rights such as equal workforce positions, equal amount of vacation days, equal pay grades, and so forth. Nowadays, you see more females occupying CEO positions. Moving on.
Women have far more disadvantages financially in society.
Yo, she did not just Yo, listen.
What happened? Where did all the men go? What happened? Where did all...
Did all of you hear what this female just said? She said, and I quote, "Women have far more disadvantages financially in society." Listen, we see more females occupying CFO and CEO positions, and she had the audacity to say something like that to her audience. What she just did was she just pulled out the victim card right out of her ass, like most females do, and say, "Oh, poor me, as a female, I have disadvantages." Listen, you females in general love to spend at least most of your hard-earned money on things that you want, not on things that you need. Unlike you, as men, we tend to save what we earn. That means we put a large percentage of what you earn and then spend some of that hard-earned money on things that you need. That's how we do business. Let's try to push hard and let's try to stay together, folks, okay? Here we go.
I want to be with a woman who doesn't depend on me.
Well, that I believe is a responsibility to both the man and the woman to make sure that that doesn't happen in the relationship.
Okay, number one, if a man were to say something like that, he would be the definition of a stereotypical beta male, spineless, pleasing doormat type of a pushover who is in deep fucking love with your stereotypical strong and independent female, and he'll do whatever the fuck she wants. Yo, listen. Gentlemen, do not become that beta male doormat, okay? Number two, if a female wants to go around acting all masculine and independent, the only kind of guys that she will attract are very weak and feminized beta male pussies, and trust me, there's plenty of them out there. For y'all females that want to act that way, those are the only guys that you will end up attracting unless you stop with this strong and independent female bullshit and learn how to be feminine, sweet, and submissive. You don't want to be submissive? Instead, you want to put up a fight all the time with men and act all fucking masculine and stuck up? This is what you will end up saying sometime down the road.
What happened? Where did all the men go?
That's where you will end up. You'll turn into the miserable ass fucking cat lady with her cats and dogs all over your apartment, with your boxed wine and chocolates sitting on the kitchen counter, dry cat food crumbs all over the damn floor and all over the damn sofa, turkey neck and the crow's feet are kicking in, and after you reach your expiration date, that is where you will end up if you keep acting all fucking masculine and independent. Now, if that's what you want, then by all means, I will not feel sorry for you at fucking all. Let's continue.
From the man's side, he has to truly offer her an allowance so that she contains her independence. She doesn't have to ask him for money every time she wants something.
Okay, folks. Did she just say offer her an allowance? Yo, listen, Anna, if you want some fat ass money, you go out there and get your own money. Like, do I look like an ATM? Like, listen, or better yet, do I look like a bank over here? Do I look like a bank to you? Do you understand that what you just described is the definition of a gold digger?
Now I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke.
Now, if you believe that the answer is no, then you, my dear, are a completely different level of delusional, and check this out. She suggested that the men should become the beta male providers by giving these self-entitled females an allowance. That does raise a question, and that question would be, well, on the other side of the same token, what can these females bring to the table?
Now, with regards to the woman, she has to take her responsibility. She needs to have an education, she needs to have work experience, and of course, she needs to have savings.
You better listen the fuck up. And you don't make me play the sound effects again, okay? Because I have already reached my maximum limit with this video. Do you hear me? She had the nats to actually sit there and suggest that men should be the beta male providers, while the females get to live in prosperity, obtaining allowances with a degree and skill sets at the expense of a man's money. She continues on by saying this bullshit.
Like this, she will always be independent no matter what happens.
Okay, she will always be independent no matter what happens. That is 100% incorrect, because if she herself is capable of getting her own job on the side while going to school, especially during today's time, I promise you, she will be able to handle herself as she progresses up the work ladder. That's called getting her own money. But nope, these females actually believe that just because you get a so-called allowance from a man, that's what makes you independent. Again, that kind of rationale is incorrect. It displays an unreasonable and an exceeding amount of arrogance and entitlement, and this argument simply does not fly at all. Let's keep this simple. She is dependent on him because he is giving her something of great value: money. Without that money, she would get off of her lazy ass and actually get a job of her own. Get your own money, honey. On top of that, gentlemen, do not give away free attention and free validation to these females. Those are the three things that you should not give away: money, attention, and validation. Keep that in the front of your mind as we continue, okay?
I don't think it's fair for the rest of the female population to be judged and categorized as these type of women just because a small percentage does it.
I 100% disagree. I actually think it's more than fair to categorize these gold-digging females as gold diggers because they have no authentic appreciation of what a beta male provider cuck provides for them. She continues on.
Most women are not like this. Most women are intelligent and smart and will want to keep their independence as much as possible.
Well, like I said earlier, for y'all females that want to act like strong, independent females, this is where you shall end up.
What happened? Where did all the men go?
That's where you will be sometime down the road. If that's what you want, then by all means, I shall not have any sympathy for you because it warms my heart when females suffer underneath me. I'm just saying. Let's continue.
So you want me to pay you a salary for being with me?
This is not a job. This is not a salary. This is a very skewed way of looking at it.
That is straight up narcissism at its best, because the very fact that you brought up this so-called cliche yourself would most certainly suggest that this is a job and that there is a salary involved. Females like Anna Bay that have this kind of rationale and throwing labels like cheap at men are typically not looking to resolve or make a situation any better. Their objective is to manipulate men in order to siphon money off of them, even if it means getting their claws into a man's bank account, especially if he's a millionaire. Gold-digging and narcissistic females like Anna have no sympathy for any man whatsoever, okay? All they do is take and they take and they take. They give nothing in return. Gentlemen, do you see the fucking shiny and bloody red flags that I see? Because if you don't, not only do you need to open your eyes, but sometime down the road, I would love to see you in one of these situations, such as getting accused of sexual harassment by a female at your workplace, or getting accused of domestic violence by a girlfriend of yours, or you going to divorce court with an ex-wife of yours and getting divorce raped by her as she flips you upside down and shakes you up and down and takes all of the money that you have in your fat ass pockets. Now, don't forget, you have to pay for her lawyer and for your own lawyer. Out of all of the situations that I've just mentioned, I would love to see any of you beta males go through any of those situations, because I will be sitting back with my feet up, sipping Mai Tais and Long Island iced teas and laughing at you while you get divorce raped in court. I'm just saying. Let's continue.
What do you bring to the table?
Are you seriously asking me this?
I'll tell you this right now. as a masculine and independent man, I would never hesitate to ask that question when I'm with a female at any given time. That's like one of the most big key questions that I would ask to any female that I'm with, because you want to know what she's really about. Are you with a female that you can trust, or is she the type of female that is doing her own investigation to see what kind of weaknesses that you have so that she can exploit your weaknesses as soon as the opportunity rises? That's what you want to know. So for her to get offended by a man that's asking her that question, that's her own damn fault for having an emotional reaction like most females do. Moving on.
It's like you're only with me because of the money.
That statement alone should make your alarm bells and your radar sound off fucking loud, because that's when you realize that you are with a potential manipulative gold digger. And how does she respond to this statement?
Well, do you know, as women, we have to constantly wonder and worry about, is he with me because of the sex, or because of the looks, or because I cook so well, or clean so well?
So I will say this. I'll make sure to keep this short, simple, and straight to the point. Let's say I go out with a female who's got the full package, okay? The full 10. Tits, legs, ass, the whole thing. After conversing with her, asking her questions and getting to know her with one drink and that's it, if I'm going to pay the bill, which I have no problem handling the bill whatsoever, and if she doesn't put out or put anything to the table and shows no appreciation, it just goes to show that I wasted $20 worth of drinks and wasted a full fucking night. So that's something that we fucking worry about as men, because we need some action. We need some peace leave, and if she doesn't want to spread her legs for us, like, have a nice life. That's how I would handle a situation like that. Delete her phone number, delete her text messages, delete everything about her. I would even try to delete the memory of her, and that would be the end of that chapter, and I move on to the next female. Let's continue.
You're acting entitled.
You know that men act entitled on a daily basis, and it's fully normal.
Okay, here's my response to that, and I want all of you to think from this perspective. The nice guys get nowhere in life no matter how hard they try. Anna had the audacity to come up here and argue that if you treat these gold-digging females right, like a so-called gentleman, everything would turn out fine. However, notice how she said earlier that if this gentleman can offer a female an allowance, she'll be able to maintain her independence, which is bullshit. Yet after saying that, she continued on saying that it's her responsibility to get an education, work experience, and have some form of savings. But she never said that it's her duty to take care of her man and love him and support him. She never said any of those things, which means that she does not believe in supporting her significant other and loving him unconditionally. This is a saying that I want all of you men to digest carefully. Men have the ability to love with no conditions whatsoever. That's what it means to love unconditionally. However, females can only love with a number of conditions. That means that she can only be happy if her specific needs are met and fulfilled. And if they are not fulfilled, she will find alternative locations and interact with different men to see which man fulfills her needs. Alright? Now, if you are her boyfriend or her husband, and if she turns out to be the type of female that has no integrity and cannot communicate like a normal person and reason with her boyfriend and husband, if her needs are not being fulfilled by her husband or boyfriend, more than likely she will cheat on you, and she will do whatever she can to keep you on the hook. She'll lie constantly, hide her phone from you, come back home late at night, and claim that she was having a girls' night out and so forth. Straight to the point, Anna Bay is the type of female that does not believe in supporting her significant other and loving him unconditionally. She doesn't believe in any of those values. Just keep all of this in mind as we continue. Moving on.
I want to empower you so that you can set stronger boundaries.
Again, she's teaching her female audience how to become strong and independent females, in which years down the road, like I said earlier, this is where they will end up saying this.
What happened? Where did all the men go?
That's where you will be years down the road, ready to become miserable ass fucking cat ladies with no man chasing after them and wondering, where have all the good men gone? Where are the nice guys? Where are they? Well, you rejected them, remember? For all of you females that are no longer as attractive as before when you were in your 20s, remember when you used to have many guys chase after you like dogs chasing their own tails? As soon as you hit the wall, those days will forever be gone and never to return ever again. You will not get as many guys chasing after you as you did before. So for all of you females that rejected a whole list of nice guys and good guys, I've got 2 words for you. Good luck. So in conclusion, here are some of the things that all of you, both guys and gals, need to know. 1. Being a gentleman does not mean shit in the real world, because you will get taken advantage of and treated like a doormat. Instead, become one of us. MGTOW or Red Pill. Focus on yourself and what you want in life. This is for my fellow brothers out there. 2. Do not give these self-entitled gold-digging females what they want, because they do not want to date you. They want to date your money. That's all that they're thinking about. 3. Overall, Anna Bay, or aka School of Affluence, is your stereotypical social media influencer that is teaching modern females on how to manipulate men in order to siphon all kinds of resources from them. She is simply one of the many female influencers that YouTube has out there that is teaching female audiences how to become toxic, self-entitled, egocentric, and manipulative creatures that are simply misandrous. 4. Men and females are of course not equals. We have our own strengths and weaknesses, and that does not give these females the right to treat us men like doormats and ATMs. So with all of that said, this concludes this episode of my incredible podcast. So thank you very much for watching. Do not forget to Hulk smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, share this with your boys and your fat ass families, follow me on Instagram, smash that bell notification button, and every single one of you have a wonderful and blessed day. Peace out.